I fight for competition. My entire life I wrestled, and when wrestling was done, I needed something that would actually provide me a chance to compete at a high level. So I fight for competition. You know, I was a kid that was broken. You know, I was a kid that got beat on a lot. I was a kid that got bullied a lot. And, I needed something. I needed something to change my thought process, and wrestling was that. It was this confidence that I got from having to stand on my own. It's that individualness in wrestling that I love. If I didn't train hard, I would lose. Or if I didn't go to practice, I would lose. If I didn't work hard, I would lose. I knew that the other guys were working hard. And all of a sudden, I had gotten comfortable wrestling freestyle. I won the U.S. Nationals, and then I was on the Olympic team the following year. So,
my goodness, indeed. Look at that. Just complete ragdoll.
I've got a friend. He goes, dude, I'm doing this MMA. He goes, you can do it. I'm telling you, it's not hard. I was like, okay, I'm gonna find a place where I can train. I went to AKA, met Kane, but I knew him from wrestling. But I saw Kane there, Koscheck, and I was like, man, if I'm gonna train this stuff, I want to train here because these guys they're bruisers. I went home for about 2.5, 3 weeks. Mid-August, I talked to my manager, Bob Cook. I was like, yeah, I'm going to fight. He goes, okay. So he goes, come back. I got back to AKA. He's like, you got to fight in Oklahoma. I was like, oh, my God. So 1 month later, I was fighting. It was sick. Nobody knows what I can do inside of the octagon until we get locked in the cage. It doesn't matter how good he is. I just have to try and be me, do what I do best, and compete. You know, just go out there and compete.
To the body. And it is all over. Jon Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history.
I knew eventually at some point that we would fight, Jon and I. I just didn't know when. I just knew that I had to keep winning, stay undefeated as long as I could, make myself look as good as I could to the organization so that they could put this fight together. We're two undefeated guys who don't know how to lose, who don't know how to actually let someone have an advantage over them. Fans should expect me to be as good as I've ever been, better than I've ever been. And I think they'll see a will and a determination that they haven't seen for a really long time. Not in me, but in an athlete. A guy that's actually willing to go through hell and back to try and get that title. If I have to use a metaphor, I'll keep doing this. And he's holding his belt. I'll keep pulling at it, till eventually he'll say, go ahead. So by pressure, by intensity, will, and just pure drive and athleticism and commitment to a lifetime of sport, eventually, as I tug at that belt, round 3, 4, and 5, he'll say, go ahead. There you go. And the new UFC light heavyweight champion, Daniel Cormier.